Right, a day or so later, here's the progress. I've got double track there, running around the back of the engine sheds and curving around towards that bridge. Passing the great roof supports in the sky. Here's a double track bridge now. Obviously I've not treated it scenically in the foreground yet, but at least we've got running now on two tracks here. And here the entrance from the outer track into the station platform has been removed. You can see where the point was. It's been replaced by a straight. And you can just see here the new inner track emerging from behind the engine shed. And the incoming inner loop is waiting for a curved piece of track to connect up to the original point into the station platform. So there's this piece of curved track here, but obviously have to adjust lengths of the straight track coming in. And beyond the station we see the removal of another couple of points, and the fact that the station at the present time goes nowhere. It'll need track laying there. Yeah, I do have some track here which is all ready to fit in. Obviously I have to connect things carefully and adjust the length of the existing track for it all to fit in neatly together. Until that work is completed, this train won't be going anywhere. Well, a little bit later on I finished the track works here, just beyond the station at Hoburg. And you now find that the station feed is coming off into the inner track rather than the outer. This is how that rail bridge now looks. That had some scenic treatment. The next feature I've got to change is the electrical wiring. I'm going to have two separate circuits here rather than one feed, so that I can have trains running in opposite directions at the same time. And that's going to mean quite a bit of upheaval down at the other end of this layout. We'll have a closer look at that area now. Just beyond VALENDORF station. Both the inner and the outer loops currently are still connected together in this double point situation, and that's what's got to change. Instead of curving inland a bit and then connecting up to the outer loop, and there will be two parallel tracks there going around that bend. So I've got to remove all this scenic treatment here with a water tower, water tank, and clear a space where the track can run. The cows have been quite cooperative in going to the opposite end of the field when their fence was down. Farmers just keeping an eye on them instead, in case they should wander. But now the fences have been re-erected in this corner. Right, well, that's all the scenic material removed. You can see the wires attached to the centre point of those 2 points. That was the main feed at this end of the layout. There's also another one down at the other end. Time to get the soldering iron on. Working with Fleischmann rail joiners can be a problem on this set track. As you can see, there's like a little slot cut under the rail there, where the depth of the rail joiner has to go in. It's much deeper than the Pico rail joiner, which is quite flat underneath. And very often, if they're stiff, the only way you can get them on the rail is to insert a screwdriver there, which you need to do on a flat surface, to prise them open. See, it's very difficult to do anyway. There. Nope. Spent quite a lot of time fiddling with these rail joiners, like that, and it sort of half pries them open, and then you can better, if I can get it into camera, slide them into position there. But they are fiddly, especially when you haven't got much space. And again, when you've got a gap between rail joins, you've got to infill here just the right length of sleeper to make it look right. That's the underneath. Well, I've got the inner loop curve in now. Still got to do a lot of scenic work, of course, to the area. Remove those points. You can already see how things are going to be. And here's the same little corner after a bit of scenic treatment. I've still got to lay that outer curve. Right, I've formed the track into the right radius curve, and I've scribed a line where the ballast edge will be. It's a matter now of brushing up the surplus ballast to get the path uninterrupted with any lumps underneath it. Right, bringing in the track, which has been cut to the right length, the right radius. This is going to be very difficult to do one-handed. I think I'll break until I've actually connected it, and then you can see once it's connected. There we are, that's connected now. What we've got to do now, of course, is cut an appropriate part of a sleeper, which is really just that piece in the middle, because that's the only piece that's going to fit in between the existing sleepers. So cut it up through there. Says he's going out of focus. I don't know if I got this clear or not. Difficult to see and do it. Just tie that up slightly. Of course, this is between two Fleischmann joiners. And really, just clear the ballast a bit in the middle. Pop this little piece in, like that. There we are. And then use ballast to fill in the gaps. Right. Now I've got to scenically treat this. And we're not far off being able to connect the wiring. That's the other end of that inserted curve. So this is how it all looks now. It needs a little bit of ballasting there, a bit more PVA glue just to make sure everything's sound. Let that harden, hoover up the surplus, and that's that section completed. Now before I put the PVA solution down to firm up the ballast, I must drill a couple of holes for the new wiring to come through on the inner track. I must repeat this, of course, down the other end of the layout. Simply a matter of finding a convenient place where you can work underneath. Says here rocking everything. Am I in my own light? I don't know. Can we see this? Yeah. Just put a hole down there. Opposite side of the track. There we are. Later I can run the wiring in and solder it to the track there. And I must do the same thing now down the other end of the layout. It's always best to have two feed points, certainly on the layout this size. More if you've got a bigger one. Right at the other side, other end of the layout, existing feeds, which are now of course only going to the outer loop, they're soldered there. So I want to put in some clearance holes just down through there so I don't damage any of the buildings on the way in with this heavy drill. If you want to keep it steady with the apex of the roof, my head's right into the apex of the roof here. Right, of course it's important you do that in a place where you can actually get to the underneath. So that's that stage completed as well. I've got quite a lot of scenic work to do now, repairing some of the damage I've caused by trampling all over the place and tearing out the track. All of the buildings, apart from just a couple, have come from my original layout. And I was quite fortunate back in June '87 to have my first HO layout, still called VALENDORF at the time, featured in Continental Modeler. And I've been thinking, quite nice to make Hoburg Station a little bit more impressive. And there was a building that I've not used on this version of VALENDORF. It was on the original, which I might get to fit on this layout. The building I have in question is in mind is the one at the back of the picture here. So the next thing I'm going to do is modify it to fit on this layout. And I think the next video I upload should include that new station building. So thanks for watching these 3 parts of modifying my layout. Hopefully soon I'll upload a video showing running with the new arrangements.